It's out there. I read it in an article. I've been reading it for a week. I saw it on the Drudge Report. Like, this is not some secret, but to then say, because it's Donald Trump Jr., because he's an outspoken
Listen, this is
guy,
not a MAGA
to then
rally,
create
okay?
Donald Trump Jr. appeared on The View and turned it into a political battlefield. Let's unpack the drama, the arguments, and the clashes.
You did something that triggered a lot of people yesterday, including myself, by releasing the name of the whistleblower. The whole point of releasing a name is to intimidate someone, to threaten someone, and to scare other people from coming out. That's something that dictators do. I've lived in China. I've seen that firsthand. That's not what America does. That's not who we do. We stand by our people. Why did you want to release the name?
Listen, Abby, I think
Abby Huntsman came in hot, calling out Trump Jr. for using tactics that felt a bit dictatorial-ish. He justified his actions by pointing out that the whistleblower's name was already public knowledge. They went back and forth on whether sharing the name was okay, with Huntsman insisting it was more about doing what's right than what is legal.
the whistleblower's name was on a little website called The Drudge Report a couple of days ago. It was in Real Clear Politics. I literally quote tweeted an article that had the guy's name in the title of the article.
Trump Jr. decided to level the playing field by bringing up his family's experiences with threats.
I wish the outrage would be equal. I mean, there was no outrage when, my family got an exploding letter of, with white powder substance in it. They're protecting a guy, in the CIA, and there's great outrage, but when your family gets something, it's there. And that's a big part of the book, which is, it's not a level playing field in terms of outrage.
That was a classic case of deflecting. They tried to steer the conversation back to the whistleblower, but he kept bringing it back to what he saw as media bias.
But he asked to be anonymous. Your family did not. There's a difference.
But it was literally millions of people, and for days he's been out there in the media.
But does that make it right?
So what's the difference between me tweeting about it?
It's different when the president's son does it, though, isn't it?
Why? I mean, I'm a private citizen putting this out there. If everyone in this room could have read this, I don't see any difference whatsoever.
He also wastes no time accusing the media and political opponents of double standards.
It seems to me that everyone is outraged that his name is out there because now people are saying, okay, he's tied to Joe Biden while Joe Biden was working in the White House. He has ties to Brennan, who's been leading the cabal on Trump.
Sure, he makes a point about consistency, but dropping the name was a bold move, especially on national television. It's like throwing a match into a room full of fireworks. He also used the opportunity to call out the hosts.
Chasing down a whistleblower about all of the Epstein stuff because those stories were killed. So if we're going to have the conversation about the outrage about whistleblowers, you work with CBS, no. You work with CBS to out a whistleblower who came up with a story that's kind of shady.
This is not CBS.
No, but you work with them. That broke this morning.
You have to admit that was funny to watch. The conversation shifted back to the idea of media hypocrisy. He's calling out media bias, which is a classic Trump family move. But see how he shifts from saying less leaning to flat out calling them propaganda. He's not trying to change anyone's mind here. This is all about firing up his supporters.
A big part of why I wrote the book is because there's so much hypocrisy out there. Now, I understand that the mainstream media is left-leaning. I don't think anyone's ever debated that or doubted that for a long time. But they've gotten rid of the pretense of objectivity.
Abby Huntsman tried to counter him by bringing up WikiLeaks.
You seem fine with people leaking information if it makes you and your father look good, because WikiLeaks
this has been
and
going
Julian
on for the other
Assange
side
is
forever.
a cyber terrorist, right? And I think a Russian puppet. You are fine promoting his stuff and your dad praising him on the campaign trail if it makes you look good. So how is this whistleblower who went through the right channels, how are you now releasing his name and putting his life in danger, but WikiLeaks was doing the right thing?
The hosts didn't hold back, throwing WikiLeaks into the mix to call out Jr. on what they saw as hypocrisy. They also linked it to his dad's campaign moves, hoping to throw him off. Did it work? Well, in the next clip, Kimberly countered them by pointing out how they also acted like a one-sided show.
He may be a private citizen, but nevertheless, he is the son of the president of the United States.
And a campaign surrogate.
And he's somebody who works as a campaign surrogate, but not officially, with the campaign. You look at, in fact, even on this show, the first day after the election, they said, and now let's start with impeachment. This has been something that's been going, it's been a concerted effort by a lot of people who are disappointed by the results of the election to undo it and remove a duly elected president of the United States.
She stepped into her lawyer role there.
Number two, when you look, it was on the show on November 9th.
No, actually, it wasn't.
You guys
We are
an opinion show. That's
Correct.
what we do.
Correct.
What you seem to have done and feels very disingenuous because you can't say I'm a private citizen and yet you're in the middle of all of this.
Sonny Hostin brought up a question.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
And we've known
Yeah.
each other. You were a former
Absolutely.
prosecutor. I mean, did you advise your boyfriend that it is a federal crime to out a whistleblower?
I didn't advise him that it was a federal crime, but I did come out of the bathroom and say, I left you alone for 10 minutes. What happened when Mamacita's gone?
Her attempt to lighten the mood with a joke might have been a smart move, but it didn't work.
Federal crime. It's only a federal crime for the
However-
IG to do it. That's
Yeah.
in the statute.
Well,
so that's you
well, no,
can't.
that's
but
not
that's the
true.
point. You can't
That's
run
a
with
lie.
it. It is not
She's
true.
Let me show you the
That's
other
not
side.
true.
Let me show you the
Under
other side.
U.S. Code
Okay,
section-
stop. Everybody stop. It's hard to hear.
Under
Really,
U.S.
one-
So
Code
finish
section
that.
1505, it is a crime.
It's not accurate. Just ask Rand Paul. He went
My
into
law
great
degree
detail
says it
on
is,
the
but
other.
He also doubled down on his defense.
do you
If he's
regret
so transparent,
retweeting that?
why does he?
You know, I don't
why does
think
he
I should have to
withhold his
forego
tax
my
return?
First Amendment rights.
People
I didn't want
wanna
to
know
create
that.
hysteria, but if I'm reading an article, be like, oh, the name's out there. I didn't even realize that
knew
this
what you
thing's
were
some
doing.
sort of
So you
big
don't-
sort
you
of
don't regret
secret.
doing that?
I don't regret doing it. No, I don't think I should have to forego my First
right,
Amendment
but it-
rights. It's out there. I read it in an article. I've been reading it for a week. I saw it on the Drudge Report.
He leaned into the controversy, making it about free speech. That was a smart move. It takes the focus off whether he was right or wrong and puts it on whether he has the right to speak his mind. But the bigger question is, was it responsible to post that info? Sonny also brought up that infamous Ukraine call that led to Trump's impeachment.
Your father said, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. And Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. This is the basis of the impeachment inquiry. Why is that a sham?
He stood his ground, arguing that nothing was withheld, but Sonny was not having it.
That's not true. That's a lie. Military aid was withheld.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one knew
Not
about
as-
it in the
no,
Ukraine,
not
so
as a quid pro
there
quo.
was no quid pro quo. You see all the other
wasn't.
aspects of
That's
this
a
coming
lie.
up.
It was
wasn't.
withheld.
There's
Yeah.
been no prima facie case
so-
made whatsoever for impeachment. The transcript is there. The witnesses are coming
so-
forward. And there was no
so you have a
bipartisan
lot of
support.
opinion
So
going
that
on.
hearing
But Kimberly, the
going forward.
military aid was
One at a
withheld.
time.
The energy in the room shifted, going from awkward to even more awkward. He was also asked about Gordon Sondland, Trump's ambassador to the EU, and his answer made it clear how the conservatives feel about the left.
Did Gordon Sondland lie then when he changed his
Wait.
testimony yesterday?
Well, I don't know why he changed his testimony. It's sort of interesting. It almost, he says something.
He's afraid of
on the
perjury.
record.
He's afraid of going to jail.
Or he's afraid of being attacked, like so many of us have for so long, by a vicious left that's running a
Oh,
one-sided
please.
sham thing.
Let's go to a
By
break.
Adam Schiff, who's doing a one-sided thing.
His appearance on The View wasn't going to change their minds. It was more of him sticking to his beliefs while they disagreed. But what do you think? Was he right to call out the media? Let us know in the comments section below.